How much longer we gotta wait? We might be here forever. I'm sick of waiting for trains.
Berman, sit down and shut up.
Okay.
On a quiet subway platform, tension mounts at 96th Street Station. Aboard the train, ominous footsteps alert the warriors that someone was approaching. It was the middle of the night. It could be a harmless hobo, or it could be a wandering street gang looking for trouble. Turns out it was worse.
Go! Where we going? Go!
Right there.
Come on! Stop!
Hey,
Honey, take the uptown.
make it.
Move! Wait up!
Actor Thomas Waits had gotten into on-set arguments with director Walter Hill. The arguments were about his character and the movie's direction in general. Fucking actors, right? Michael Beck and Deborah Van Valkenburg had better on-screen chemistry anyway, so the decision was made to kill off the character of Fox by having him thrown from a platform into the path of an oncoming train. As a kid watching this movie, I was jarred by that. I liked Fox. He wasn't the big hero type. He was a small guy who was unobtrusive, save for calling a prostitute a whore, but other than that. And what's with the cops? The cops themselves were like another gang. And what happened to the cop that threw Fox onto the train tracks? Did he get in trouble for that? Probably not, but I digress. We can now discuss the double. There is a double that is noticeable as hell.
Run!
In the scene, Mercy had run off. She had left. She had seen Fox wrestle with a cop near the tracks, but she hadn't seen the cop throw him onto the rail, whereby a train immediately came by and killed him.
Where's the fox?
Before this could happen, she came running down the stairs with someone who was decidedly not Tom Waits. This person had an afro like Tom Waits, sort of. White guy with an afro. They all look alike. I think this guy was a gaffer or key grip or cameraman or something that was on set. They gave him a wig and a vest and said, "Run next to her, but don't show your face." So this guy comes running down the stairs, decidedly not looking at the camera. I don't know how you run downstairs turning your head in such a way that you're almost kissing your right shoulder, but this guy was doing that. You hear him saying, "Come on, this way," but it wasn't Tom Waits' voice. So he had definitely been fired by that time. It is curious to note that at some point when the cop grabs Fox's double and starts wrestling around with him on the floor, you can hear Tom Waits' voice, the real Thomas G. Waits, yelling at Mercy to get out of there and run away.
Oh, shit! Run! Just get out of here! Move!
Years later, I found out that the actor had been fired and that wasn't him in the train station with the rest of the guys at some points. But as I watched the film over and over again, I did notice that his voice was still in that scene, even though he wasn't.
Where's the fox?
I wonder if they asked him to record that before he was fired or after he was fired. It's also too bad that they didn't film a scene before he left where he told Swan who had really killed Cyrus. This is critical. Fox had been looking at Luther and the rest of the rogues during the assassination. And remember now, Fox was very sharp at identifying gang members on the spot, so he probably had a good idea of who they were. He would not know, however, that the Riffs subsequently thought the Warriors had done it, but he would know who had. And while he probably didn't tell all of the guys, he may have told Swan. This is also critical. When Cochise and Vermin are told by Rembrandt that the Lizzies thought they had been the ones who shot Cyrus, they were all visibly surprised.
See, man, now if we go to pieces, somebody out there is going to get us.
They think we shot Cyrus.
What are you talking about? I don't get it.
They think we shot Cyrus. Every gang in the city must be looking for us.
Holy shit.
We're not gonna be able to make it back.
We're gonna make it back. We came this far and we're gonna go the rest of the way. Now let's go to Union Square, okay? We gotta tell the rest of the guys.
This gives the audience a holy shit moment. We knew the gangs were actively looking for them for this, but up until now, the Warriors themselves had never discussed it. It's almost as if they had forgotten about the shooting entirely. Looking back these days, actor Thomas Waits regrets his behind-the-scenes behavior on the set of The Warriors. In interviews and at conventions, he candidly says the studio made the right decision when they asked his agent to tell him to stay home.
I was fired from the Warriors. That is, the director called the studio and had them call my agent and say, we don't want him to come back, which was the worst day of my life.
He has since apologized to Walter Hill for his behavior on set, and in recent years the animosity between them from the 1970s has melted away. Waits also regrets having his name removed from the end credits of the film.
After I got fired from the movie, Paramount sent me the rough cut and said, where do you want the billing? And I was angry and hurt, I guess, about being fired. And I had a lot of disputatious discussions with Walter, and I thought the movie was too violent, and he was like, shut the fuck up, you're just the actor, all right?
He sums this decision up to a youthful exuberance and a penchant for trying to be Marlon Brando, a 1950s method actor. A method actor uses method acting, an acting technique that seeks to encourage sincere performances through identifying with and experiencing a character's inner motivation and emotions. It mostly means that if your character is an abusive drunk, you'll act like that for as long as you're on the set, even when not filming or rehearsing. That seems like a lot.
Which is one of the few things in my life I actually regret doing. And I've apologized to Walter, and I think he's forgiven me, and it's all in the past and like that. I just hope it helps somebody, I've made all the mistakes for you. You don't have to make them.
There is a question to ponder. What if the fox had not been killed? Would it have been a better film? Or should he have simply been arrested? Fan favorite Ajax was arrested toward the middle of the film and would be fined the next day, presumably. Not so much Fox.
Where's the fox?
Chances are they would not have been able to identify the body, and Fox's family would never know what had happened to him, unless the cop who threw him onto the tracks filed a report, which was possible but may be unlikely. Also consider that if Fox had been jailed, the Warriors could mount a rescue mission in an immediate sequel to the original film.
Cops got Ajax. We don't know about Swan.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you sure about Ajax?
Real sure.
Having Fox gone from the film made things simpler for Mercy and Swan, but having him still with the gang would have definitely made things a little easier for the Warriors' trek. For example, Fox would have definitely known about the Lizzies and who they were.
This is a great outfit. What clique is this?
We're the Lizzies. We're the Lizzies.
We're the Lizzies.
So those guys could have avoided that whole hoopla.
Lizzies. Hey, great. Just great. I like that. I like it.
Glad to hear it.
Yet, this was not to be. Fox was killed by an angry cop in the subway station, but he did leave an impression of gang confidence that made the first part of the film a little more believable, if only intermittently. As always, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave comments in the comments section.
Where's the fox?
Cop grabbed him.